How much did you have on all this?
You can have the whole lot for a tenner.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the free trade-in game collection challenge, the series where I go out, I try and find some deals with regards to gaming items, and then I sell part of the deal to make the money back, and then we take whatever's left over into CEX, trade it in, get some credit, and then buy the games that I actually want to display on the shelf and play, of course, because they're not just there to look at and look pretty, they are there to play. And today's episode, there are a fair few pickups actually for the collection, and obviously quite a few pickups to sell. One of the things is I don't know what to do with it, to be honest. It's one of those really up in the air items, but we'll talk about that. So today's footage has nothing to do with CEX, believe it or not. It's all car boot sale. You saw a very brief frozen still image clip thing at the beginning. I will play you that in its entirety in this video, as well as any other clips that I managed to find, because I haven't actually gone through the footage yet, so I'm not really sure what I have and what I don't have. I just knew I'd recorded that, so I thought I'd put that at the beginning. Anyway, the whole point of this series, of course, is to build a free game collection. Everything you see behind me, to be honest, even down to the TVs, were all acquired for nothing. The TVs have not been part of the series because I picked them up ages ago, but point still stands. Everything you see behind me was free. Don't believe me? Go back and check out the other episodes. Everything that you can see, apart from that picture, which will go very shortly, was acquired through these videos and for nothing as well. So go back and check it out, and then maybe you can start doing it yourself if you're interested. Building it like this just gives me a massive sense of achievement. So I'm looking at that shelf last night and I'm thinking everything has a story. I can tell you exactly where I've picked up every single game. I can tell you roughly what I sold or traded to get that particular game or console. There's a story there. And not only that, but it's all for nothing. I don't know if I've said this before, but everything you see behind me was for free. And that just makes it even more special. Let's get into today's pickups then. We'll go through some of them in order of how I picked them up. We'll go through the others in order of just boring, I guess. So the first thing that I picked up, or technically speaking, the last thing that I picked up, but the least exciting, is going to be a Skylanders bundle. Now, no figures. I would say unfortunately, but I can't be bothered to deal with them, so I don't really care. It was this poking out the top of a box. I went round the boot sale on Saturday in Bristol 3 times. And I'm at the end of it, right? I'm on the last row, 3rd time around, and I'm about to leave. A guy has pulled up probably about 10 minutes before. He's still getting things out of his car, and there's a cardboard box, and this is sticking out of the top. So I go over and have a look, and I pick it up, and underneath there are 3 Skylanders games. So we have Giants, we have Superchargers, and we have Trap Team. Had to look because I've got no idea what they're called. But then, you know, it's nothing amazing. If this was PS4. Obviously, I'd be like, how are there 3 Skylanders games on the PS4? But the PS4 Skylanders game by itself sells for money. So if it had a portal with it as well, we're looking at really good money. However, we're not. So I was like, okay, fine. I might have a couple of quid in change left. I wonder, how much are you looking for all this? I said. And he was like, it's got to be worth £3, hasn't it? And I told him the truth. I said, to be honest, I've got no idea. I don't know if it is. And I was umming and ahhing, and I didn't know what to do. And I was like, how much am I realistically going to be making back on this? And he said, go on, give me 2 and they're yours. So I gave him 2 quid, and I got a portal and 3 games on the 360. Having looked it up, it's not going to make me a millionaire, unfortunately. But I will probably get 10 quid back for those. And, you know, you might scoff at that and think, no, you won't. But I've looked at, you know, sold listings and things. 10 quid, I think, is reasonably fair. I'm going to have a little tally running alongside me to see how much money I made back. I think in total I've got £81 spent, so we need to try and make back £81 from everything that you see here. So that's £10 back already. Then we'll have a go through. What should we do next? Let's do some pickups. So these are actually to keep. I'm not going to sell these. The first one is actually a vintage pickup. This is Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled on the Switch. That was a bargain at £5. I could not leave that there. I could sell it. I could trade it. I'm not sure how much it trades in for. Between 10 and 16, I think that trades in for. So I could probably get 15, 20 quid if I sold it. But Gonna keep it. Gonna play it a little bit and see what it's all about. But I'm all about building up my Switch collection, and I'm not really that bothered about the games that go in there. I just want a nice big Switch collection. They look really good on the shelf, and for future value wise, these are all. It's a newish console. It's still newish, right? So the games, yeah, okay, they might still come down, but a lot of them will always hold their value because it's a Nintendo console, and that's just the way it goes. But I'm quite happy to pick that up for a £5. So technically speaking, even with the Skylanders stuff that we've bought now to sell for a tenner, this is free. You know, it's just the way it works. The next pickups were from the Bootsale. Now, unfortunately, I don't think I got any of these in the footage. The first game is going to be Zombieland Double Tap Road Trip on the PS4. It doesn't look particularly great, and when it came out, I had a look at a trailer. It's some sort of top-down job. I'm not that bothered by it, but it was cheap enough. I can't remember how much they were individually, but I know how much I paid for the whole thing, right? So I'll talk about that in just a second, because there's 3 games in this little bundle. First one is that. The next one is going to be Lara Croft and the Temple of Osiris. Now, I'd never even seen this game before, and I went to one guy, and he had loads of games. He's there all the time, but he's not cheap. But sometimes he sells things really cheap. I had a sealed Halo ODST, I think, off him once, and I paid £1, and I literally sold it for 50 quid. And, you know, sometimes he's like, oh, give me a couple of quid. Other times he's like, I want £25 for like a £5 game. He wanted 16 for this.
16, 14s, 10s. Right, okay. And if you wanted a lot, I'd do the lot for 50. Okay.
So I walked away because those prices were astronomical, and then I went over to another stall who had this, and they sold it to me for a very, very reasonable price. The other game I picked up, and I know you're thinking, why? Minecraft on the Xbox One. It's in really bad condition. The cover itself is really bad. I don't want to put this on the shelf, but I'm going to have to. And I knew that this was damaged before, so the disc itself has some issues around the top, and I don't know if that's going to be able to come across there. Like, just right up there, it's got some issues. I've seen that before with some discs, and it hasn't actually posed a problem. Now, I was never going to pay good money for this because A, it's Minecraft, and B, because of the damage on the disc, there was no guarantee that this was going to work. So I asked how much these two were, and I think they said £5 each. And I was like, maybe. And I was looking at this, and I think she said, oh, there's something, that one looks a bit dodgy, I think is what she said, something like that. So I said, well, would you do it all for 10? Yeah, go on then. So we picked up 3 games. That has been tested, and it does work. So even though there's damage on it, it does work. Whether I'll find out a few hours into playing that there is damage on it, I don't know. But for now, for the first half an hour, it was fine. I managed to build a nice little house, and it was good. So that was essentially free, and these two were £5 each. If I wanted to trade them in, I think I guess £6 each. I'm going to keep them because they're part of the collection now, and like I said, the rule change last week means that we can keep things like this. So those 4 are going into the collection already. We're not done yet, and we have Skylanders to pay for a chunk of it, but we now need to make more money again. So the next pickup, this is a really interesting one, because again, it was halfway through the boot sale. There are loads of people there, loads of buyers, you know, like resellers, if you will. And video games tend to go quite quick. This was just sat on a table. This is a DS Lite, and it is in very good condition. If I just turn it on briefly, the screens are in very good condition. There is a little bit of dirt or yellowing or something to a part of the case. Had the original stylus, which was nice. Everything about it looking really, really good. Came with a game as well, which I don't have to hand actually, but it came with a game, right? And that was £5. £5. Again, I wasn't recording because it was just one of those. I'm walking past. I spotted some shoes, and then, oh, is that a DS? How much is that? Oh, £5. Take my money, you know. So that is actually sold, and I will go through that in a minute. But that was £5. Then we're going to have to get into a deal that I didn't get through the Bootsale. Now, this is a family member deal. So my brother messaged me and said, hey, you interested in any of this? Sends me a picture of some CDs that his friend in work is getting rid of. You know, I buy and sell nearly anything and everything, right? So I'm having a look and I'm like, do you know what? CDs, they don't really bring an awful lot of money unless they're like Japanese imports, or there are very few rare CDs that actually go for a bit of money, or if they're sealed, brand new, then yeah, obviously. But I'm looking and I'm like, do you know what? No, sorry, unfortunately, there's nothing there. Thanks for the offer. And he said, I've got an Xbox if you're interested. I didn't know whether he was actually telling the truth or not. I'd like, because he's got a Series X, and I don't know whether he was referencing, oh, I've got a Series X kind of thing. I don't know. But I just said, oh yeah, okay, I'll have two, because I didn't really know what to say. And then he messaged me and he was like, haha, no, but seriously, are you interested? I was like, oh, you do have. So now I'm thinking, right, okay, so he's got a Series X, it must be his Xbox One. Yeah, 100% I'm interested. And I think you know where this is going, because I've already talked about Minecraft being tested. To cut a very long-winded story short, I picked it up. He lives literally like a stone's throw. If I throw a tennis ball really far, I could maybe hit his dog. I probably couldn't, but I could try. So agreeing a price was a nightmare, because when you're doing sort of family business, it is really difficult, because obviously I don't want to offend him with a price. He doesn't want to offend me by going overboard. We're trying to work something out, and in the end, we fall on £45. And I'm thinking, £45 for an Xbox One? It's not bad, but it's not amazing. You're right, it's okay, it's not bad, right? But it did come with this controller, which was a white. It's not even for the S. I think this is just a white variant of the black controller. The S controller has a different looking D-pad to it, I'm pretty sure. Unfortunately, or fortunately, whichever way you look at it, it doesn't have the original back. It has like this battery charger, and I do have the actual like massive charger that you charge them with as well. I am going to get a different back, because I just prefer to use batteries, to be honest, but each to their own. I can't even get that back on, so it's just a nightmare. I don't want to turn it on actually, because it will turn the Xbox on. The Xbox is plugged in, so I'm not going to unplug it. I'll show you footage of it. It's just the original, I think it's even a day one black console, but it came with a controller, all tested, all working, as if it wasn't going to be. But the other thing it came with was a DS. No, not the white DS that you've just seen. It came, oh, there's games here. So it came with this pink DS. Now I knew this. I didn't like open the bag and there was just a pink DS in there. There it is. This was part of the deal. We sort of agreed that was essentially a £5, and the Xbox was 40. And it also came with a few games as well. So I think there's like Sonic Rush and a few other things in here. There's a Sonic Rush, Chicken Shoot, and what is it? The Golden Compass and stuff like that. There's a couple of others, Deal or No Deal, and then a couple of other games that came with the white console in this little thing. So the white console I've picked up for a £5. This one essentially I've picked up for a £5, because I've picked up the Xbox for 40. It's all very complicated, I do understand, but they're all both in very good condition. This is actually in immaculate condition. I've sold both of these. Prices will be up on screen for you right now. So I'm going to allocate 50 to my overall total here. So I'm up to £60 back. If I'm desperate and I really want to, I can sell this. I think I can trade that in for 30. Well, I need to buy an original back for it, but I think I could trade it in for 30. But even if I wanted to sell it, I'm probably looking at, again, about 30. So if I really want to make my money back on all this, and I'm desperate, that is an easy way to do it. But obviously then I want to have a controller to play games on, so that's a little bit stupid. But very good deal on both of those. Very happy about that. And the games that go with it as well. Also very happy. And it came with this little pink carry case as well, which has also obviously gone with the sale of the console. So I need to make back around £20, £21, something along those lines. Then I came to this deal.
How much did you have on all this?
You can have the whole lot for a tenner if you want.
Yeah, I'll do that. Yep.
Okay. All right, thank you.
So as you can see, £10 for the lot. Wow. What was the lot? Well, in the box behind the games, there was a Wii. Obviously, that's what it was. And here it is. It's in good condition, and it works. Now, the only way I could test this was if I used my red controller from my Wii Mini that I still have, that still hasn't sold, but I'm hoping this will help it sell. So this came with a Mario Kart wheel. For some reason, people think that these are actually controllers. Or it comes with a wheel.
That's exactly why Nintendo created the Wii Wheel, bundled in with Mario Kart Wii plastic. It's plastic.
He was adamant that this was, big deal. Everything's on the floor. It came with 2 rechargeable battery packs for controllers that don't come with this. No controllers came with it, apart from this nunchuck, which, saves me £3, I guess. So we've got the console, I've got all the wires, the power and the TV lead and the sensor bar and everything. Do I have a sensor bar? I don't have a sensor bar. So, to be honest, I knew this. I looked at it all and I was just curious because there was a stack of games there. There was one game in particular that sells for about £10. And then there was just the Wii, and it was all random stuff in a box. Obviously, it was a house clearance person who doesn't know an awful lot about this stuff and just slapped a £10 on it. So I've got a console, I've got a nunchuck, and I've got a wheel, and I've got the power and the TV lead, the stand as well, and 2 rechargeable battery packs for the Wii remotes. I just need a Wii remote and a sensor bar. The sensor bars are actually cheap enough anyway. But obviously the stack of games. That's a lot of games. That is a lot of games. So the one that I knew was worth a £10 is Wii Sports Resort. That will sell for around £8 to £10, which basically pays for the whole Wii bundle, no problem. What I've decided to do then is chuck all of the rest of the games that are that left over with the Wii Mini. I don't want to keep any of these. You've got like Michael Jackson The Experience, Littlest Pet Shop, Call of Duty 3 is in there. There's, for some reason, 2 copies of Wii Play, because you need 2 copies of Wii Play, which actually does surprise me because this came with a Wii Remote as standard, bundled. I don't think you could buy Wii Play separately without buying the controller Wii Play bundle. So the fact that there are 2 of these in here and no controllers really frustrates me. Call of Duty 3, Horrible Histories, as you could see at the very front of the bundle anyway. Ratatouille, which I actually wouldn't mind keeping. Wii Fit Plus, but no board. Fantastic. Michael Jackson you've already seen. A couple of Just Dance games, which, they don't really sell for anything, but it's nice to have. Rabbids Go Home, which actually trades in for a couple of £. And then Chicken Little Ace in Action. So what I'm going to do is just lob all that, apart from the 2 copies of Wii Play. I'm going to throw all that with the Wii Mini. And I'm going to hope that sells. So I'm actually going to allocate £10 for Wii Sports Resort, which is obviously going to take us up to 70, and then I'm going to allocate 11 because that's conveniently the amount that I need, right? But all of those games added to the Wii Mini. The Wii Mini has gone from being £40 to around £60 with those games, minus fees. I can easily allocate £11 to it, which gives me £81. Which is exactly the amount I need to pay for everything. Now, if you've been adding this up as you go along and you're a bit of a Rayman, you would have noticed that actually, no, that doesn't come to 81. It comes to 77. There are 2 more pickups, and they are both going into the collection. The first of which is going to be Mega Drive Winter Olympics. This is a game that I've, believe it or not, always wanted to play. As a kid it came out and I wanted it and I couldn't get it. There are 2 games in my life that I wanted as a child and my mother promised me and never bought me. Oh, I'm so hard done by. Street Fighter is one of them, Street Fighter 2. This was the other game I wanted at one point, not in the same scenario, it was in a different place. And again, oh yeah, you can have it, no problem. Never got it. So excited to try that and to be disappointed by the fact that it probably isn't a great game, but that was £2. And then the other game, which was actually a big surprise, I'm gutted they didn't have more Mega Drive. These were the only 2 games they had on the entire stall, and this is Sonic the Hedgehog Spinball. Now I had this as a kid but never really played it too much. I was always sort of Sonic 1, 2 and Knuckles kind of guy, maybe 3 at some point as well, which is actually now a fairly expensive game. But that was £2 as well. They were both like that, like stood up facing this way, but like lent against something, so they were just like that. Now instantly I thought they're Mega Drive games, but if you're just glancing past this stall, you wouldn't really have thought too much of it. And I thought, well, I know they're Mega Drive games, let me go and have a look to see what they are. 9 times out of 10 you'll pick them up and they'll just be empty blank Mega Drive cases. They don't have the top bits on them, unfortunately, which is quite nice to have, but it's not the end of the world. But the artwork looks okay. It's got a bit of a tear on the inside of it. I think this has been changed once upon a time, and there's a little bit of an orange curry stain on the side. But generally speaking, yeah, £4 for those, not bad. I think that takes our tally up to around 81. And I know, it's a little bit convenient that I've spent £81 and the return is 81, but I've actually done that on purpose. So the potential return is a little bit more than 81, but I wanted to be super cautious and I've actually rounded it down. And that way I don't have to add anything to the total cash profit. So the total values for the series so far, the collection is now up to 909. We picked up £57 worth of items today. Now I didn't actually spend £57 on those items to put into the collection, but I've used eBay prices. Minecraft is a little bit different because of the damage. I wouldn't be able to sell it for eBay prices, so I've halved it. So instead of like 10 that I would probably get back for Minecraft, I've just chucked a fiver against it in terms of value. So I do that when it comes to pickups, because obviously if I'm picking a game up like Crash for example, pick that up for no more than £5, but if I'm going to sell it, I'm going to be looking at 15, which is the amount that I've added to it because it actually sells for about 17, 18 on eBay. That's the way I'm calculating. If we pick things up straight from CEX, I'm just adding CEX prices. The collection therefore may be a little bit inflated here or there, but I've been super conservative with consoles, so it kind of balances out at the end of the day. And then the total cash profit for the series, which is something that I'm not really too bothered about, but it's nice to know that it's there, £327. Now that £327 isn't just lying about in cash on the desk waiting to be used. I don't have that. It's gone. It's been used for council tax or water or gas electric or something. It's not really part of the series, but for example, today had we spent 90, I would have taken a tenner from it if I really needed to. So it's there as a buffer if we ever go over and I'm desperate to sort of make that money back up. We can see that we are 327 in profit already. Okay, so 2 things to talk about before I leave. The Wii, just going to use that as a GameCube for now. Not going to buy a sensor bar, even though I could use the Wii U sensor bar, but I'm not going to use it as a Wii. I have a Wii U, it plays Wii games, and they look better on there anyway, and they run better, so why would I ever play a Wii game on the Wii? Why would I ever play a Wii game? But also the GameCube, right? So I do want a GameCube, we don't have one yet. Now I can start picking up some GameCube games so long as I pick up a GameCube controller. And we're just going to use the Wii as a GameCube, for now anyway, until we eventually pick up a GameCube and then we'll sort of reassess. But I'm not going to add that into the collection. Speaking of Wii games as well, I actually wouldn't mind picking up the odd Wii game, you know, Mario Galaxy and things like that. But I don't really have a massive, desired list for the Wii. There weren't really that many games on the Wii that I thought, yeah, I really want to play that. There's not many at all. Wii U's different. There's loads on the Wii U, but for some reason there's not many on the Wii. It's because it's too motion control based for me. Anyway, the other thing, the big elephant in the room, and there is the elephant on the shelf, the Mega Drive. I haven't added a single penny to the total collection value with regards to the Mega Drive because, well, I didn't go through it. I sort of showed you everything and that was the episode. I didn't actually go through it. I've since sold a couple of things. I'm going to trade in a few things in the next episode, and then we're going to show you what is in the collection and what I'm keeping for the collection, and then we'll add to the collection value and maybe the cash profit if there's anything there as well. So we'll go through all that in the next episode. I wanted to do that now because the last episode was the Mega Drive, but this popped up and I kind of had to show you this first because otherwise it would be like, well, why are you buying GameCube and Xbox games when you don't have those consoles? That kind of would have given it away. So anyway, we'll go through all that on the weekend. If you have enjoyed this episode of the Free Trading Game Collection Challenge, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and until the next time, goodbye.